What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show. Happy Thursday. It is, almost Friday. So how's your guys' weeks going? Hope you're not getting too scared or shaken up. Bitcoin's experiencing a little bit of a dip today. We've been hovering 111 like all week long, but now we are currently sitting at 108. $480 per coin. So what's going on? I don't know, but I'll cover the news and we'll see what's going on around the world to see maybe what's triggering this Bitcoin dip. But hey, it's getting a lot easier, or it's going to be getting a lot easier, or a lot more businesses are going to be accepting Bitcoin soon. Because as of today, Compass Coffee DC is the first merchant in the world to accept Bitcoin integrated with the register using Square. So Bitcoin for every business out there. Like we covered the article a couple days ago about Jack Dorsey releasing this, and hey, it was bullish news and looks like it's finally here. So let's take a look at this first transaction happening on a POS system using Square. So this is from Compass Coffee DC.
All right, good morning. So we're here at Compass Coffee, and we're going to be filming the first Bitcoin transaction using Square. So, sir, what can I get for you?
I'd love a pumpkin spice latte if you have any.
Yeah, we got a PSL for you. There's going to be 3 embarrassed.
All right, awesome. How many sats is that going to be?
That's going to be 6,526 sats.
All right, perfect. Just happened to have some sats on me. There you go. Pay 6,000 sats.
Boom.
All right, thank you very much.
That's the beauty of Bitcoin. Just got my coffee.
So it's that simple to pay for your coffee and meals using Bitcoin's Lightning Network. So think of how many merchants out there are already using Square, and like they don't have to do anything to start doing this. It's probably just like pushing a button, going on their network and going, oh, I want to accept Bitcoin payments, and now their terminal's using it. So yeah, how many merchants are actually out there in small businesses? Let's see. ChatGPT says, let's zoom in a little bit. So active sellers and merchants are over 4 million people using Square. And on its platform. So payment volumes have exceeded less than 241 billion annually across all networks. Square's place in point of sales market is 27% of the POS systems, and then loans originated via Square is at 5.7 billion in 2024. Now, a share of sellers using 40% are larger than business customers, but 54% of small businesses in the US now use Square for payments, according to a claim from CoinLaw. So that's where that data came from. But 54% in the US, that's probably not the whole 4 million people globally around the world, but that's a huge amount of businesses using Square, especially the small ones. It's easy point of sale systems just to acquire. You just go online, you sign up for it. But no, by Jack Dorsey's block company integrating this and making it this simple to integrate Bitcoin payments, this is going to be huge for Bitcoin. So yeah, so guys, if you're a small business and using Square, maybe consider adding that Bitcoin function on there to start building a Bitcoin treasury for your company. But they're not the only one to accept Bitcoin for payments. It was 5 months ago Steak and Shake began accepting Bitcoin. So in celebration, they are launching the Bitcoin Steak Burger. Hurry to any Steak and Shake and enjoy them while they last. Supplies are limited, just like Bitcoin. The support we have received from the Bitcoin community has been outstanding. Now, these Bitcoin steak burgers come with 2 steak burgers topped with 2 slices of cheese, looks like onions, pickles, and ketchup, and it's embroidered with a Bitcoin B logo right on top of the bun. So I know what I'm getting for lunch today after our class. So yeah, So Steak and Shake was the first place to do it here in America about 5 months ago. And yeah, it's been booming ever since. But now that we got Square payments coming in, oh my gosh, imagine the places you'll be able to utilize your Bitcoin. And again, you still want to save your Bitcoin. So once you spend your Bitcoin on these, like at these stores or whatever, just be sure to reload it up right then and there. We all have Cash App really on our phone. Who doesn't nowadays? Just go into Cash App. Oh, I spent $8 worth of Bitcoin. Well, let me just buy another $8. Boom, done. So I spent Bitcoin. I'm actually treating it as a currency. Got an awesome meal, and I really didn't lose anything because I just rebought back the Bitcoin. So yeah, so this is pretty cool, bullish news. But let's continue. Let's go on. Let's go into the news now. Actually, what's going on? Bitcoin is seeing red October now, but October bull posting is back. So don't get shaken out about this little bit of dip right now. There are signs showing that this could be like the mark of a huge spike incoming. So let's go through this article to hear about these telltale signs. So Bitcoin is down 2% so far this month, which doesn't sound like much at first glance. However, it has only seen losses in 2 of the past Octobers since 2013. The first was back in 2014 when it shed 13%, and the second one came in 2018 when it lost 3.8%. Both were bear market years. August has historically been the worst month for Bitcoin, but while October and February have been the best. Now, this is the third time in the last 6 years that Bitcoin has been negative halfway through October. Observed industry analysis Joe Consorti, all 6 times it ended up green by October 31st, he said, before adding, "There's some hopium for you." Now here's Joe Consorti's tweet on X. This is the third time that Bitcoin has been negative halfway through October in the last 6 years. All 6 times it ended up green by October 31st. So there's some hopium for you guys. Now Bitcoin is now down 3.12% this month, making it the first red October since 2018, according to this chart. So the last one was first one was 2014, then 2018, and 2022, kind of where the crypto cycles are heading. But red October deepens. Bitcoin tanked to an intraday low of $110,500 on Wednesday before recovering to $111,000 on Thursday morning. But as of right now's time, we've dipped back down to $108,000. But the asset has now fallen 12% from its all-time high and is now down 9% over the past 7 days, as October losses mount this week. Now, chart expert signals on the boom-bust framework, which means we haven't reached the parabolic stage yet. The last bullish signal came on April 2025 when markets started recovering from the big slump. Still, we can still see $150,000 Bitcoin by year's end as a reasonable target. Now, meanwhile, crypto litigator Joe Carlesare predicted that the cycle would extend into next year. The narrative about a four-year cycle / quarter 4 October caused excessive long positioning, and the market almost never lets everyone win. So it needs to burn through that excess, frustrate the bulls, and then move higher throughout 2026. Now, Trezor also pointed out that the previous bull markets have seen big dumps before things took off, suggesting that more pain was to come. So again, is this a telltale sign that we're about to experience a huge boom? Because back in October 2017, dump. October 2021, dump. And October 2025, dump. So same setup, same structure, same start. Don't say I didn't warn you. And here are those chart showcases. Let's see if we can blow this up a little bit more. As it's going to take me over here. So nope. But yeah, so this was October 2017. There was a huge dump, and then boom. Spiked up to all-time highs, 450%. And then the bear market times 4-year cycle, we hit October 2021, 4 years later. Wait, is that 4 years? 5 years. No, it's 4 years. Had a correctional dip going down, and then boom, all-time high, 436%. And now here we're at today. We are experiencing this little dip right now. Could we see a 400% increase? We'll see. But there is hopium out there. But why this pessimism? Crypto trader Mr. Anderson questioned why sentiment had turned bearish recently. You've got a 3-year staircase up. You've got price up 115% since last September, adding over $100 trillion in market cap, and the timeline still sounds like a funeral. Bitcoin has closed above $100,000 for over 160 days straight. He said before adding that it sure looks like structural acceptance. Time will tell, but if higher levels are coming, this range is the launch pad, he concluded. So people are still bullish on it. Some people are still experiencing it. Why did I go back there? Some people are still trying to follow the 4-year cycle chart. So again, there's a lot of speculation on where we can head out there right now. These charts and cycles and data points that we see, it looks like it's following 2017, 2021. Is 2025 going to be similar? We just got to wait and find out. But some people are still calling for this is the time the bear markets are about to be happening, probably towards the end of November, December. Some are claiming that a cycle is going to bleed into the following year. And then others, like myself, think that we are just out of cycles. Maybe not for the altcoin space, but Bitcoin, I just don't think we have the cycles anymore. So those are the thoughts going on. But there's hopium still for the rest of this month. We're halfway through. It's red right now, but we could see green by October 31st, which is the Bitcoin white paper's birthday. So we will definitely be covering that. Now let's continue on with the news. We got Bitcoin Ventex. Let's see, speaker and podcasts, App Store, speaker pocket. Wait, what then? What is this? The science. Oh, looks like a new place I'll be streaming. But okay, so our next article is the U.S. just scored $14 billion in Bitcoin. Will it go straight to the strategic reserve? So how did they do this? Get 14 billion? Did it actually happen? Let's go through this article to find out. So numerous legal and policy questions linger around the massive haul of Bitcoin the U.S. government announced it seized from an alleged crypto scam operation. So the U.S. government now possesses an additional $14 billion more in Bitcoin. The only question is, what are they going to do with it all? This is the digital gold. Now, on Tuesday, the Department of Justice announced it had successfully seized over $14.4 billion worth of Bitcoin from Chen Zi, the head of Cambodia-based business conglomerate, and alleged to be at the center of the global crypto scam operation. The seizure is by far the largest in DOJ history. Now, the U.S. prosecutors have filed criminal wire fraud and money laundering charges against Chen, along with legal requests to formally obtain ownership over his seized Bitcoin via criminal forfeiture. Now, should they prevail, will that historic pile of Bitcoin be added to President Donald Trump's new strategic Bitcoin reserve, or will the funds be used to pay back Chen's alleged victims? Now, a clear answer to the question may not materialize for some time. The Treasury Department, which oversees the nation's Bitcoin holdings and was also directly involved in Chen Zi's case, did not respond to Decrypt's request for comment about how it plans to use the seized funds. But the potential impact of the U.S. government's final decision on the matter, with the amount of Bitcoin on the line, is great already. Some of the most prominent boosters of the president's Bitcoin reserve plan have attempted to earmark today's seized funds for that project. Now, turning criminal proceeds into assets that strengthen America's strategic Bitcoin reserve shows how sound policy can turn wrongdoing into lasting national value. Senator Cynthia Lummis said on Tuesday in a statement congratulating the Trump administration on its action against Chen Zi. Now, second, the codifying of how seized Bitcoin is stored. So is it returned to victims and safeguarded for future generations? Well, turning criminal proceeds into assets that strengthen America's strategic Bitcoin reserve shows how sound policy can turn wrongdoing into lasting national value. And that was said by Senator Cynthia Lummis. Now, the senator who has proposed legislation that would obligate the U.S. government to purchase more than $100 billion worth of Bitcoin to bolster existing holdings of the token added that today's event underscores the need for Congress to pass laws codifying how seized Bitcoin is stored and returned to victims. Now, Scott Johnson, a financial lawyer and venture capitalist focused on crypto. He predicted the U.S. government would likely keep a huge amount of the seized Bitcoin, and the remainder would be used for paying back victims. He figured, but only after a years-long process of untangling the alleged scammer's global laundering network and verifying the restitution claims of individuals in dozens of countries. Now, this is the most extreme example of illicit fund seizures you can really imagine in terms of the complexity, said Johnson. Now, Art Redbird, a former U.S. Treasury official and federal prosecutor who now leads global policy at TRM Labs, told Decrypt that it is difficult to predict how much of the newly seized Bitcoin the U.S. government might ultimately deposit into a strategic reserve. Now, instead of using to make alleged victims whole, that is really a hard question, he said. Should the funds be added to the American Bitcoin reserve, they would likely significantly increase the value of the stockpile, though by how much? So it's also not currently known. But blockchain analysis firm Arkham Intelligence currently estimates that the U.S. government-controlled crypto wallets hold some of $22 billion worth of Bitcoin, which would mean this week's haul of the coin would massively boost the value of the National Bitcoin Reserve. But Arkham's findings have never been confirmed by the federal government. Now, when the President Trump signed an executive order in March establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve, he ordered the Treasury Department, along with the White House Crypto Working Group, to determine exactly how much of the cryptocurrency was currently in the government's possession by April. Now, by May, the Secretary of the Treasury was to deliver an evaluation to the White House regarding the legal and investment considerations for establishing the reserve. Now, in July, the White House released a sweeping report on crypto policy, which noted the Treasury Secretary did deliver such an evaluation to the White House, but omitted any findings about the scale of the U.S. government's current Bitcoin holding. Now, both the Treasury Department and the White House did not respond to Decrypt's request for comment regarding the state effort to determine how much Bitcoin the the government currently holds. So no response there on how much they actually hold, but as far as we know, they should be having $22 billion or around like 200,000 Bitcoin in their pile. And if they do add all 14 billion, that's like literally almost half. Is that more than half? That's more than half than we already have in the street stockpile. Now, Senator Cynthia Loomis says we want $100 billion in that stockpile. So this would help lower the gap, reduce the gap. I'm always forgetting words, but it'll lower the barrier for like how much more we will need to get to that level. But yeah, so this was a huge seizure. I didn't realize this was in line with my final article I had for you, but that man who was involved with that scam flees with 1.8 billion in Bitcoin. So yeah, the government seized 14.4 billion, but this was out of like a $15 billion network scam. So let's continue this article to hear a little bit more about the man who scammed all these people and still fled with 1.8 billion. So Chen Zi, the chairman of Cambodia's Prince Group, is implicated in a $1.8 billion Bitcoin scam known as pig butchering. It involved forced labor operations across Southeast Asia. The event marks a significant blow to global financial fraud efforts, highlighting vulnerabilities in crypto security and prompting increased law enforcement and regulatory scrutiny. Now, Chen Zi, the chairman of Cambodia's Prince Group, has been identified as a pivotal figure in a multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin scam. Global authorities have seized over $15 billion tied to this network, yet Chen remains at large, with $1.8 billion still missing. Now, the United States Department of Justice announced measures against Chen for orchestrating a criminal network involving forced labor fraud, operations known as pig butchering or romance scams. Current investigations highlight his strategic role in this extensive financial scheme, causing a significant impact. Now, this event has rippled through the cryptocurrency market, causing considerable shifts in Bitcoin's liquidity and transaction flows due to the associated enforcement action. Now, the seizure of these such significant assets has impacted broader market dynamics, indicating increased scrutiny in the crypto space. Now, authorities have leveraged tools like blockchain analytics to dismantle the operation, demonstrating the role of transparent blockchain networks in enforcing financial crime regulation. Now, these actions highlight the potential implications of future regulatory frameworks and cross-border cooperation on crypto-related crimes. Now, the Prince Group's substantial Bluetooth transfers are still being monitored, indicating enhanced tracking and surveillance by regulators, engagement with blockchain analytics firms, and it has confirmed Chen-linked activity showcasing the enduring influence of illicit networks on cryptocurrency movement. Now, by dismantling a criminal empire built on forced labor and deception, we are sending a clear message that the United States will use every tool at its disposal to defend victims, recover stolen assets, and bring justice to those who exploit the vulnerable for profit, said Pamela Bondi, Attorney General. So yeah, so he is still at large. People were looking for them. They said they are going to make him pay for their crime because, again, they stole the money from hardworking citizens like you and me. So, well, he didn't steal it from me because I didn't get anything stolen, but these are the type of people he stole from. So yeah, so that was a continued on for the U.S. seizing $14 billion, but Chen Zi still has 1.8 of it. So hopefully they find him, and then hopefully we also come with a decision on where is this going to go. Is it going to go to the strategic reserve? Is a portion of it going to go to giving back to the victims out there? We just got to wait and find out. But let's take a quick commercial break right now because I only got 3 articles left for you guys. But a quick commercial break and we will be right back.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
And we are back. So yeah, let's continue on with the news. What else is going on in the space? We had a U.S. crypto seizure from that scam that was pretty huge. Bitcoin's Red October is kind of being shown, but there's still a hope for it because cycles and trends are just showcasing, reviewing, we're following the, We're following the 2020-17 market as well as the 2021 market, and this is 2025 because here's that chart right there. We are similar, so don't be so worried about this dip. Buy the dip. So don't sell it, buy it. And if you sell it at a lower price than you bought it, don't do that because you never buy high, sell low. You want to do the reverse if you do that. But Bitcoin's my exit strategy because why do I want to go back into a fiat system that's always losing value? But let's continue on with the news. What else do I have for you? Looks like someone had a very fat finger over at Paxos with the PayPal's USD coin. But a $300 trillion fat finger as Paxos accidentally mints PayUSD before burning it. So crypto users were left scrambled on Wednesday after Paxos minted 300 trillion of PayPal's PYUSD stablecoin, then sent it all to a burn address. So blockchain data shows stablecoin issuer Paxos minted, then burned 300 trillion tokens of the PayPal USD stablecoin, all within 30 minutes, leaving many crypto users just scratching their head. In a Wednesday X post following the mint and burn, Chaos Labs founder Omer Goldberg said that Aave would be temporarily freezing trades for PayPal USD after an unexpected high-magnitude transaction of minting and burning the stablecoin took place. Now, Ethereum blockchain data shows that Paxos minting 300 trillion of the US dollar peg stablecoin at 7:12 p.m. UTC time, and then burning the entire amount 22 minutes later by sending it to an inaccessible wallet. Now, PYUSD is pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar, and it made the supply of burned coins worth about 300 trillion. The stablecoin has a market cap of more than 2.3 billion at this writing, making it the sixth largest coin behind Tether, USDC, and Athena USDE, as well as DAI and World Liberty Financed. Now, here is that transaction on chain. This is showing the 300 trillion in tokens. And then to show, I think this may be the transaction of them sending it over to the burn address. But in a Wednesday X post, Paxos said it had mistakenly minted excess PYUSD as part of an internal transfer. Now, this was an internal technical error, said Paxos, so there is no security breach. Customer funds are safe, and we have addressed the root cause. Now, PYUSD maintained its dollar peg following the news, but its price briefly dropped about 0.5% according to data from Nansen. So yeah, if you saw this chart on a stable coin, yeah, I'd be freaking out, especially if I just look at it. But if I wasn't paying attention and it recovers, it's like oh, what happened there? And then we find this news article when it takes place. But yeah, so briefly, we had a 50.5% drop. Down to 0.99. Oh, never mind. That was a 50% drop, so it didn't go down to 50 cents. It went down to 0.995, but that's still a pretty hefty candle from that. But the $300 trillion was more than twice the gross domestic product for every country on Earth, according to data from the International Monetary Fund. Now, this is the biggest burns in crypto, or this is one of the biggest burns in crypto history. Some of the most significant token burns include cryptocurrency exchange OKX, sending more than 65 million OKB tokens to an inaccessible address in August, which was an effort to keep the supply at 21 million. Now, the project behind the Bonk meme coin burnt about 1.7 trillion Bonk tokens in December of 2024. But the coins were only worth about $50 million at the time. So it is one of the biggest burns out there, probably the biggest one, $300 trillion compared to the 65 million OKB. I'm not sure what that price was at, or the 1.7 trillion in bonk tokens, and that was just valued at 50 million. So this was an actual stable coin, so it was pegged at $300 trillion, well above our debt GDP out there. So yeah, so some person had a little fat finger push that. So if you have the PYUSD stablecoin and we're curious about that 5% dip, or is this why some exchanges were putting some halts on the transaction, just a fat finger to hit, oh, too many zeros, let's send this to our burn wallet. So just let you know about that news article. Now let's talk about this high leverage crypto trader, James Wind, is liquidated once again, but this time for 4.8 million. So this is why I don't get involved with trading or high leverage trading anyways like that. That is just way too risky, and this guy just seems like he's hurting for pain. But James Wind, famous for his leverage crypto bets, said he was back with a vengeance, but was liquidated just one day after opening a new position. So, oof. So James Wind, a pseudonymous high-leverage crypto trader, was liquidated for about $4.8 million on Wednesday. According to a blockchain analytics company, Look On Chain, Wind opened up a $4.8 million in leverage position with $197,000 in stablecoins on Tuesday. Now, Look On Chain reported that back with a vengeance, coming to get what's rightly mine, when said on a Tuesday post as he placed his bets. Wind opened a 40x long position on 34 Bitcoin, valued at $3.85 million, a 10x long on 122 million King Pepe meme tokens, valued at $917,000, and then a 10x position on 712 Hyperliquid tokens, valued at $28,000, before losing nearly all of it by Wednesday. Now here is a tweet from Look On Chain. James Wind just got liquidated again. It seems every time he returns the Hyperliquid to open new positions, it doesn't take long before he gets wiped out. But the wallet associated with Wind showed a balance of $63,000 at the time of this writing, and data from Hyperscan Block Explorer shows that it seems every time he returns to Hyperliquid to open a new position, it just doesn't take that long before he gets wiped out. Look On Chain wrote, highlighting the dangers of leverage trading and the potential for rapid outsized losses. Now, Wind becomes famous in the crypto community for his huge liquidations. So Wind has gained widespread notoriety in the crypto community for making and losing hundreds of millions of dollars through trading leveraged crypto perpetual future contracts, which are similar to traditional future contracts but feature no expiration date. So many exchanges allow traders to use leverage or margin to take positions several times larger than their posted collateral, making meteoric gains and catastrophic losses within a short time frame possible. Now, Wind made headlines in May when he was liquidated for $100 million after the price of BTC dropped to $105,000, taking out his long BTC position. However, he came back with another $100 million leveraged BTC order days later after Wind asked followers on social media to donate so he could continue trading. The second $100 million leveraged position was also liquidated, prompting Wind to temporarily deactivate his ex-social media account and take a short break from the world of high leverage crypto trading. So I guess after that second time, he had to take a little break, but he's back and he lost it again. And if he asks again for donations, don't do it, guys. Like, he's just going to lose the money. So I don't know if you just enjoy his pain of just having losses, but when you're donating to it, it's not so much his pain, just you just throwing money away. So don't do that. But again, if you want to stay safe, just buy and hodl Bitcoin. That's the longest position anybody should ever have. So that will keep you safe. But if you want to take that chance and lose it all very fast, yeah, dip your toes in it. Have fun. I'm not doing it, but hey, you can do whatever you guys like. But sometimes it's just fun, and that's what you want to do. But yeah, so this is what happens with hyper leverage trading. You can lose it all, or you can make a lot. So yeah, but let's move on to our final article of the evening, where meme coins rewind to July levels as market struggles to recover. So is this narrative over? Like, did meme coins have their run? What's the next narrative happening? But I don't think it might come back. There might be a little pump of memes when an altcoin season hits, or when alt season hits, but I don't think it's going to be catastrophic like we've already seen with them. But the meme coin market lost almost 40% in a day before slightly rebounding as top tokens like Dodge and Sheep remained deep in the red. So the meme coin sector's market capitalization fell to the levels last seen in July as meme-based tokens struggled to recover from losses incurred by the crypto market's sharp crash on Friday. Now, CoinMarketCap data shows that on Saturday, the meme coin sector dropped to a low of $44 billion and an almost 40% plunge from the $72 billion the previous day. Now on Sunday, the meme coin market slightly recovered to $53 billion, a level last seen in July before Solana-based meme coin frenzy ignited the sector's late summer rally. Now, over the last 4 months, the meme coin market cap has consistently remained above $60 billion, as meme-based tokens have maintained strong retail interest fueled by Solana and BNB chain. However, the recent plunge marked a shift in momentum. At the time of the writing, the meme coin sector's market cap hovers at $57 billion, still much lower than its recent performances. Now, the top meme coins to struggle and recover from Friday's bloodbath. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 10 meme coins account for $47 billion, more than 82% of the sector's total market cap. At the time of writing, all these tokens were trading in the red, both on the 24-hour and 7-day chart. Now, the biggest meme tokens like Doge, Shiba Inu, Pepe all posted weekly losses from 13% to 22%. Other top-ranked meme coins like Bonk and Floki dropped by over 20% in the last week. And then we have US President Donald Trump's official meme coin token was also hit by the crash and is 20% down in a weekly chart. Now, other sectors quickly stabilized after the market crash. So while meme coins are still recovering from the aftermath of the crash, several other sectors have shown signs of faster stabilization and recovery. A day after the crash, non-fungible tokens started to bounce back during the market sell-off. The overall value of the NFT space dropped by 20%, which with about $1.2 billion in value erased from the sector. However, the niche quickly recovered, regaining 10% the day after the crash. Now, crypto exchange traded funds also quickly attracted fresh inflows after a wave of outflows following the recent market meltdown. On Tuesday, spot Bitcoin ETFs saw $102 million in net inflows, while Ethereum ETFs recorded $236 million in inflows. Now, more established cryptocurrencies were also quick to recover. Bitcoin is at $108,000, which dropped to $102,000, and is trading above $111,000, according to CoinGecko. And Ether is at $3,884, which declined to below $3,700 and has recovered to levels of $4,000. But again, we just experienced another dip today. So yeah, we recovered to 111. Now we're at 108. We recovered back above 4,000 for ETH. Now we're at 3,800. So the recovery process is different for each coin out there, but meme coins seem to be struggling with this game, that recovery momentum. So I'm thinking the meme narrative is done. So maybe we want to focus on some other narratives. AI, real-world assets, decentralized exchanges, gaming, and yeah, so maybe that's where the money's flowing in soon. But that is it, though. That's all the news I have for you guys. Let's take a look at our fear and greed index. Where are we at before we end this off? We are currently, I know we're in fear, we're at a 32 up here. So people are fearful, and you know what they say. When markets are fearful, it's a good time to buy. But when we are in greed territory, the market may be due for a correction. So it's like when I see these charts, it's like definitely a buying point. When we're in the greed, it's like let me hold off just a bit. I need to see where the markets are going. But well, looks like Bitcoin just dipped beneath $108,000. So we got to get back up to the 110,000 support level to start being a little bullish again. And then we really need to see 115,000 Bitcoin to really be bullish. But that's it, everything. That's it for the news, guys. I hope everyone has an awesome day. Go get some Steak and Shake. Use your biddy to buy that steak burger. I'm going to be doing that after our crypto class today, where we will be talking about privacy and strategy and strategic tips to keep yourself safe. So yeah, if you want to be a part of those classes, join the crypto club. We have them online, or you can come to a club and watch them in person. So everybody, have an awesome day, and I will see you again tomorrow with more crypto news.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine, Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.